Welcome to another episode of Jim Merritt's Indiana. Today we are at New Beginnings, a program that is so successful and that's a part of the Goodwill Industries of Indiana. I am so pleased to be here with Trellis Evans. Goodwill offers so many more opportunities than someone to go shop. Tell us about Goodwill.
Yes, you're absolutely right, Jim. Goodwill has an opportunity to be in the community. We offer services such as our reentry program, but we also offer opportunity for individuals to get their high school diploma through our Excel centers. We also offer first-time moms opportunity through our NFP program, which is our Nurse Family Partnership program. We also offer that big skill set of training and learning how to do a job. So we do offer on-the-job training. Even though it's through our stores or contract manufacturing, those are skill sets that some people don't get an opportunity to learn on the outside because we do give that training program aspect of things. So we are looked at as an employer. We also are a nonprofit for the community. We were very blessed and honored today, this year, to receive a Lilly grant, over $7 million grant from Eli Lilly, the foundation, to be able to provide these services in the community.
Trellis Evans is in charge of it all, and I have been working on issues that really go into reentry for those of us that are leaving incarceration. And I know New Beginnings has had great success in helping those of us that are suffering from some sort of addiction or some sort of situation in their lives that has really harmed them, and it's something that I feel very strongly about. Trellis, tell us about your life, how you gravitated toward New Beginnings.
Well, let me back up a little bit, tell you a little bit about my life. I got an undergraduate degree from Indiana University in psychology, so that was the beginning of me just studying.
Well, I've looked at your LinkedIn. You have education coming out your ears.
Yes, I think
what
that's
a success.
Very important. Thank you. And that just kind of made me just want to learn about people, and so that's where it all started for me. Just fast forward a few years. I actually started working with Goodwill in a different capacity, working with people with barriers. And that's how I started here at Goodwill, but really started to wanted to make a difference when looking at the reentry population. So approximately about 2010, had a great idea to really hone in on, as you were speaking, those individuals that have barriers to employment, mental health, housing, transportation, all those things. So that's how the Discovery of New Beginnings program came about. My history, though, personal history, really had my father growing up from Gary, Indiana. He was in and out of prison my whole life, actually. As an adult, he came to me and asked for help. He wanted to change his life. We started looking into things, and it was not much help out there. So that began my research really heavily on the reentry population.
Okay.
Then I ended up finding out all kinds of great things that can help a lot of people. And so I never really wanted anyone else to have that position of feeling that helplessness. So the combination of myself and research and Goodwill gave me a great platform to be able to start the New Beginnings program.
In New Beginnings, let's discuss actually what happens here.
Yeah.
I know Goodwill has multiple stores around the state, probably upwards to 70 or 72. And you have quite an opportunity to give someone a new lease on life.
Absolutely.
And tell us about New Beginnings.
So New Beginnings is actually a job and life skills program, which makes us very unique. We have the opportunity at Goodwill to provide that first thing is employment. So when someone is coming out of it, just coming back into the community, we provide employment, we push money in their pocket. So we provide an opportunity for people who've never worked before, giving them those hard skills. We do have 2 contract manufacturing sites, getting ready to open a 3rd one. We also have our outlet warehouses, retail, and we also have our retail stores. So it's a little bit of a variety of things that people can learn. And then we attach the soft skills, and that's where the programmatic things come in. And so we do teach people those simple things of clocking in and clocking out, reporting in, that structure that they might be missing. We also really help them dive deep into what was the whole reason they even got to where they are today. We offer mental health referrals. We offer housing assistance to help them find housing, medical treatment, also that whole big piece of self-discovery.
Well, in my podcast, I always like to talk to people that are involved in the situation or in the story. Who are we going to speak to today?
So we're going to speak to two great people. We're going to speak to a graduate of the program, Darnell Bates. And he's been promoted several times since he's graduated from the program. And then we'll also speak to Felicia Scott, who's a current participant. And so she'll get kind of both sides of it, from kind of where she's beginning and then where he's ending.
Well, we know that people do make mistakes, and then they end up back inside. They reoffend. And some of the programs I know have anywhere between 8 and 17% of recidivism rate.
Right.
And DOC, Indiana Department of Corrections, and they're working on it, but right now it's 33 or 35%. Is it technical violations where somebody might have an ankle bracelet on and it runs out of battery and they reoffend with a technical violation? With what happens around here, if somebody would reoffend, if you will, using the term that people would understand, what might it be? Technical, or what would it be?
So I would say 90% of the individuals that do reoffend are technical rule violations.
Okay.
And we do have.
So they break parole.
They break parole, or maybe, like you said, lose a connection with their home detention bracelet, things like that. Or maybe got pulled over for like a traffic offense and something like that. But the other 10% that do go back to, like, in the Department of Corrections, our recidivism rate, which is the rate of individuals returning, is around 7%. So
that's terrific.
We've been really focusing on keeping them away.
That is a real success.
Thank you. Thank you very
well,
much.
I'm really looking forward to seeing the other folks that have been participating in the program, and it's exciting to be here, and thank you very much, and let's move on.
Felicia, I'm really interested in how people get to new beginnings. What happened to you?
Well, I was sitting at home on the couch not doing anything, and I'm like, change in my life. And I was scrolling on Facebook and I seen New Beginnings, and I was like, all right. So I called the director, Monica, and I'm like, hey, you guys hiring? And she like, yeah. And I'm like, all right, they give you a second chance. And New Beginnings, it just helped me. I got a job. I was having situations where I had my daughter and didn't know how I was going to work. New Beginnings helped me with it.
And tell me what you're doing here.
Right here, I'm doing mats. Air mattresses, poking the holes for them. Like this, poke them, and bring them out. And then once I get done, they'll be on the table right here. And the person up there, they check and make sure I didn't miss no holes or anything. And then they get put in the container and shipped off.
Right. And what is, do you have some goals of what you want to do after this?
Yeah, actually, my long-term goal is to be a dental hygienist.
A dental hygienist. Best of luck. You've got a great start. Hope the dental field is something you'll enjoy.
Thank you.
Darnell, you're a graduate of New Beginnings. I'm really curious about how you got into New Beginnings and what it meant for you and what is happening now as a graduate of New Beginnings.
I got into New Beginnings because of a friend. Heard about this great program at Goodwill, Commercial Services, and I came here to get a job and to ask about New Beginnings. I heard it helped ex-offenders who got out of prison and wanted to make a change, and it would help establish us in our lives.
And you operate this. This is your job, correct?
Yes. I'm the warehouse lead. So I operate the forklift.
Yes. And what are several of the pillars of what you learned in the New Beginnings program?
To start to be self-reliant, to have an understanding of work and work ethic, and probably about realizing who you are, how you can grow, and if you can set your mind to a goal and try to actually go achieve that goal.
Is your goal to be at Goodwill for a while, or do you have ambition to grow more outside of Goodwill, or is this something that you really enjoy and love your job?
I love my job.
Do you love your job?
I love it. my goal is to grow inside me. My goal is to keep taking steps forward, you know, not just in my work life and personal life, and just grow.
And when you left incarceration, it must have been a pretty dark time in your life. And New Beginnings, really kind of the sun came up in the morning, and you felt good about what you were doing, and it really set your life in a completely different direction.
Oh, I would say 100%. So with me, when I left prison, I was kind of down and out.
Did you ever have a feeling that you might reoffend?
Maybe in the beginning, I think I had a give up spirit. And then I went to New Beginnings, and I learned that I got this. I mean, that I can make a difference. I can be different.
That's great news.
Yeah.
That's great. It's a big part of your life.
God?
God.
Oh, yes. Yes. God is a huge part of my life. I'm a big believer. I believe everything happens for a reason. To get to where you're going, by all the past experience to the experience you're doing now. I always say it's never about yesterday, it's all about tomorrow. I believe that's
a great saying. Can I use that?
Yes, yes.
I'm so happy that your life is on track. You're loving your job, and you're growing inside Goodwill, and just congratulations.
Darnell, just checking in with you to see how things have been going with your family, your kids. I know that's been a big struggle for you in the past, and I know that some positive things have been happening.
With my kids, have been amazing. I get them every weekend. Being back involved, being a dad, and just being there for them is the best thing that ever happened to me. Just happened.
That's awesome. I'm glad. I know that they're so happy to have you in their lives. Yeah. So we talked about career paths. I know you've done a long way. Kind of heard some inklings of bigger and better things for you coming along the line. How does that make you feel from where you came from, starting at Goodwill, to where you're leading now?
Makes me feel amazing.
But New Beginnings helps us to realize that we not our past. You know, we made mistakes, you know, but New Beginnings is here to give us a second chance. And that's what they did. They gave us a second chance, and they teach us things that we didn't know, you know. They teach us new directions to go, you know. We can always call on them. We know that they're just not in our business. They like family to us.
It's just not 70 or 72 stores. They're providing a life path, and you're on that path.
Yes, they provide life paths. They help us out with our bills if we need help with our bills. You know, if we have trouble getting to work, they make a way for us to get to work. So, you know, whatever is hindering us from going forward.
Yeah, the barriers of life.
Yes.
Yes.
Goodwill is here to do that for us.
Felicia, thank you very much. You know, we've learned today so much about Goodwill, so much about New Beginnings in the state of Indiana. Goodwill covers central Indiana and southern Indiana. It is so much more than the retail store you see around the corner from your home. It involves getting people's lives back on track, a path to success. And you're watching another episode of Jim Merritt's Indiana.